It's Criss Smith time. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Criss Smith, and I am here as we continue our march toward the Tony Awards on Sunday, June 8th. And I'm doing a review each day of all the shows I saw when I went to New York in May of 2025. So today we are talking about Maybe Happy Ending, the romantic musical playing at the Belasco Theatre, set in a not so distant future in South Korea, about robots who fall in love. Now, Oliver and Claire are Helperbots, and they've both been retired. Oliver, played by Darren Criss, is a Series 3 Helperbot, and Claire, played by Helen Shen, is a Series 5. And I think they're like up to Series 8 now, so the 3s and the 5s have been discontinued, and the 3, which Oliver is, still has a better battery life than poor Claire's Series 5 battery, because though she's a sleeker model, she her battery is having a terrible problem keeping its charge. She could get down to 8% like that. So that is basically the starting point of the show. So Maybe Happy Ending, as I said, is playing at the Belasco, and it started in September 18th, 2024, on Broadway. And little was known about it at the time, at least to me. And I was like, what is this weird little sci-fi musical? Was very big on social media. They did a little video of both actors, this video called When You're in Love. And I was like, oh, that's a catchy song. And slowly they started releasing little things. And the more I heard about it, the more I wanted to know. So I started looking into the history of Maybe Happy Ending. And I even started reading the summaries and listening to the music in South Korean. So it's set in Seoul. And look, here is a 2021 poster of the show. So you can see it has the South Korean writing on it. So apparently it was done in 2016 in Seoul. 2018 there was a revival. 2020 another revival. 2021 another revival. This is all in Seoul. And then in 2024 a revival. I don't know what they did about COVID. I'm sure that their theaters were closed at some point, but maybe they were able to wear masks, and who knows? I just don't know. And then, of course, the show came to Broadway. But I know that they did they were preparing to move toward Broadway, and then everything was halted by the pandemic. But here's some of the awards they won over the years. Korean Musical Award, Musical of the Year in 2019. The Richard Rogers Award by the American Academy of Arts and Letters in 2017. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so before I saw this show or knew too much about it and was reading the synopsis on Wikipedia, I'm at work reading the synopsis and I am crying my eyes out just reading the description of what happens in the show. And a lot of people might not want to go into a show knowing exactly how it ends. Of course, I didn't know all the details. I didn't know dialogue and stuff, but I knew basically what happened in the show, and I thought it was amazing. The music is so incredible too. This, I would say, will jump into my top 15 somewhere, and I haven't found out yet what place it will live. But I mean, that's a pretty good jump for a new musical. This is the interior of the program. It is music. Let's see, how did they do it? It's by Will Aronson and Hugh Park. And I want to tell you who did what music-wise. So music is by Will Aronson. The lyrics are by Hugh Park and Will Aronson. And the book is by Hugh Park and Will Aronson. And this music is so lovely. I mean, I play it at work all the time, and people stop and say, "What are you listening to? This is so nice." And everything about this show, I can't tell you enough. The scenic design, just the movement, the flow of this show. The direction is by Michael Arden, who did a few years ago the Once on This Island production that was on Broadway with the big sandbox. And then when they did the tour was about to start here, and it was going to be at the Amundsen in April of 2020. You know what happened, the pandemic. So that whole tour, it was toward the end of its run anyway, so they just closed down. It never came to Los Angeles. We never saw it. I was devastated, just devastated. Michael Arden also did he do Parade? I feel like he did the production of Parade. Yes, he did. He did the Parade. He did Once on This Island. He did Deaf West's production of Spring Awakening. And Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol starring Jefferson Mays a few years back, which he also co-wrote. And, and he's got The Queen of Versailles coming up with Kristen Chenoweth. That's exciting. But I know Michael Arden from back in the day. He was an actor, and he was in, what was the name of that musical about the kids that were in a Catholic school and they were putting on, it's one word. Hold on. I couldn't find it, and then I remembered Bear, a pop opera. I saw that off Broadway, and Caitlin Hopkins, I believe, played his mother. And it was sort of like a Romeo and Juliet type story. They were putting on Romeo and Juliet, but Michael Arden played a young, I think they were in high school. It was sort of like a private school, and they lived in the school campus, and he fell in love with his roommate, a boy, and their love was forbidden by the church, by his mother, by some people in society. It was years ago, mind you, and it was very tragic, the show. But that's where I first heard of him. This also says that he's going to be working on The Lost Boys. So this guy is a very busy director. And what's interesting, in his bio, he does not include his acting work. It's all about the directing. And this is nice. At the bottom it says, "For Gavin Creel, whose light changed us." As you all know, Gavin Creel is an actor who passed away last year. I mean, it hasn't been very long, and it was devastating. Yeah, it was last year sometime, and everybody was devastated, and fans and people who knew him and everybody. But so Michael Arden, yes, he is a bright light on the Broadway marquees. Oh my gosh, Maybe happy ending. I wish I could sing every song for you right now. And I will. No, I'm just kidding. Let's look some more at the interior of this playbill. The cast is very small. It's a 4-person cast. Well, five characters if you count HwaBoon. HwaBoon is Oliver's plant, and he even has an Instagram account. So these are the main people in it: Darren, Criss, and Helen J. Shen, Marcus Choi, Dez Duron, and HwaBoon. And then these are the understudies and standbys down here. And I'm sure everyone is very good. I know they did a put-in performance recently where they were putting in the people who normally play Oliver and Claire whenever Darren and Helen are not in the show. So that's always nice. The understudies and standbys have been saving Broadway for years, but especially since the pandemic. It's amazing how shows have kept going just because of people who were once in a show and came back, or people who really stepped up and were doing multiple roles and bouncing around. It's just amazing. Okay, so here, the setting, the heliport yards outside of Seoul, Korea, the near future. And the show is performed without an intermission. Some people like that. You get in, get out, get to a dinner, maybe have some drinks with friends. Here's the musical numbers. There's a lot of instrumental music in this too, and it is gorgeous, the music. I can't say enough about the show. Oh, and look, okay, so I have my Maybe Happy Ending shirt, which I proudly wear out into the world. Maybe Happy Ending, a new musical. What's funny about this shirt is, since it doesn't have like a picture or anything, or a little clever saying, it's almost like being a walking billboard for the show, because you have the actors' names up here and then the show title, and you're basically just a billboard walking around, and I'm proud to do it. I can't wait until this musical goes out into the world more and it tours. I can't imagine it without Darren and Helen, but I mean, I know other people would be able to do it marvelously, but yes, let's talk about the Tony nominations. They got 10, and 10 is the magic number this year, because Death Becomes Her. What's that other thing that I didn't see? Buena Vista Social Club. Would have seen it, I just couldn't see everything. And Maybe Happy Ending all got 10. So these are the nominations. Oh, and by the way, I was very, very upset that Helen J. Shen did not get a nomination for lead actress in a musical. I mean, she really should have. It's her Broadway debut. Let's see. Oh. Looking at all the things they've won over the years, it's amazing. They even won Outstanding Musical at the Drama Desk Awards. Outstanding Director for Michael Arden. Outstanding Music and Lyrics and Book for Will Aronson and Hugh Park. This is the Drama Desk. Orchestrations was nominated. Outstanding Scenic Design of a Musical. Dane Laffrey and George Reeve. Includes video design, it says. They won. And their video design is incredible. I mean, this show is so sleek, it is like a movie. And I mean that in a nice way, because I like theater better than movies. And I work in the movie industry. But what I mean by the fact that it's like a movie is it is just constantly moving, and it is so visual. There is always something for the eyes to feast on. Not just the eyes. I mean, there is a sequence with fireflies. I don't think this is a spoiler, but if it is, spoiler alert, there are fireflies in the show, and they're going to an island to find Oliver's former owner, James, and Claire wants to go along to see the fireflies because they're only on this island now. They're extinct. You know, as a child, I loved fireflies. We called them lightning bugs. And we used to catch lightning bugs. We didn't kill them or anything, but we would put them in jars that had holes in the top of them and then let them go after a little bit because it was fun to have them in a jar and have the jar lighting up. And they do that in this show, but there is this effect where there are lightning bugs all over the theater. And it is, I cried. Oh, and here's another fun thing. I would have cried more, but because I stopped and I got a drink at the bar before the show started. I was way up in the balcony, but in the first row of the balcony. There's the mezzanine, then there's the balcony. So the girl was very nice, and she said, "Do you want?" And I got a Kit Kat, and I got a drink, and she said, "Do you want to make it a double?" And I ordered a Nat King Cola, because you know the show is jazz. Oliver is a big fan of jazz, so he loves Nat King Cole and all the jazz greats. Listen to my voice. I ordered the double, and it had bourbon in it. $42 for the double Nat King Cola and the Kit Kat. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, yes, that's a bit much. But I was so excited about the show, and it was a Friday night, and people were all like, "Oh, it may be happy ending. It's Friday night." So I'm drinking this at my seat, which is nice because you can drink at your seat on Broadway nowadays. And it's bourbon. I'm not really a bourbon drinker, and I was starting to get really tipsy, and I'm like, uh-oh, I can't drink this before the show. This show means too much to me. I can't be drunk during maybe happy ending. So I drank part of it, and then I kept it I think I put it down at my feet. And then when the show was over, I drank the rest of it, and then went and had dinner with Abigail. I was feeling pretty good. Oh my gosh, I cried so much during this show. It's not that it's sad. I mean, it has sad and touching things, but it's just so beautiful and life-affirming. It's all about love. It's about why would we choose love. There's a song called Why Love, and it's basically the Helperbots know what humans know it too. If you love somebody and they're gonna die eventually, because they say we all eventually die, and it's like, is it better to love someone and then risk the horrible pain of losing them, or do we spend our time alone to protect ourselves? So that's basically the deep meaning in this show about robots. And I cried so hard during it that I didn't have a tissue, and I had to wipe snot on my socks. It wasn't pretty. Luckily, it was dark. For the Drama League Awards, they also won Outstanding Production of a Musical, Outstanding Direction for Michael Arden. The Outer Critics Circle, they won Outstanding New Broadway Musical, Outstanding Book, Outstanding Score, Direction for Michael Arden. Okay, so here are the Tony nominations. See, they're all pending. It's the last big theater awards of the season. They're up for Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical, Will Aronson and Hugh Park, Best Original Score, Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role in a Musical for Darren Criss, Best Scenic Design, Dane Laffrey and George Reeve, Best Costume Design of a Musical, Clint Ramos, Best Lighting Design of a Musical, Ben Stanton, Best Sound Design of a Musical, Peter Hilinski, Best Direction of a Musical, Michael Arden, and Best Orchestrations, Will Aronson. Okay, let's talk about some of that merchandise. I had to get 2 different magnets. This is the original design of that was the original poster. And I was like, oh, I don't necessarily love it. I mean, it's like a computer charger thingy, and it has the HB logo for Helperbot. But I liked it enough to get the magnet. Just not. And I can't tell what that says at the bottom. Oh, it says Helperbots Inc. Yes. Anyway, got that magnet. Then they had a magnet. There's a character in it called Gil Brentley, who is a singer. He's one of the jazz greats that Oliver and his owner, James, always listen to his music. And here's a magnet that looks like an album cover of Gil Brentley's, the Gil Brentley Jazz Orchestra, live in Amsterdam. Isn't that cute? So I had to have that. Of course, I already had the poster, which I'm happy that they did a new design that features both of the actors. I got this before I went. It's Broadway's new musical adventure. You know, it's an adventure. It's sci-fi. It's comical. It is heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, heartwarming. It's romantic. It's all of those things. I can't praise it enough. And then this is the only show that I waited outside the theater afterwards. And I got the signatures of Dez Duron, who plays Gil Brentley, and Marcus Choi, who plays James. Marcus Choi, who plays James. And those were the only 2 actors who came out. So as I said in another video, I think Darren, Criss, and Helen J. Shen are still inside. There were some actors that were on a screen when Claire thinks back to her previous owners. And I don't know who played them. Does it say in here? Hold on. Okay, so maybe these are the people that were on the screen. Arden Cho as Jiyeon, and young Mazino as Suhan, and Jim Kaplan as young Jun Seo. Forgive me if I'm saying those character names wrong. But yes, so there were these scenes on the screen, and it was her memories being played. And there were some substantial things that happened in one of these scenes, and I'm like, that's strange. These actors are not here to come out and take a bow. It's the 4 main characters, or 4 main actors. And so I was wondering about that. But anyway, that is all at the time I have to talk about maybe happy ending. Oh, and while I'm here, speaking of merchandise, when I was doing my Smash review, I forgot to show you the Don't Forget Me keychain that I got. It says Smash on the back. But isn't that cute? And if I forget something about maybe happy ending, I'll tell you in tomorrow's review. Okay, I will see you all. I can't find my sign. I will see you all in our next review. Maybe happy ending, y'all. Go see it. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.